All good. You're all good. All right, here we go.
This is great.
What part? Oh, the games.
I'm just really enjoying this Tuesday night stuff.
Oh, good. Yeah, it's fun. And then for Nick, the other way.
What's that? What do you mean?
Well, the Thursday marathon, and then his
Oh,
arena. Yeah.
right. He's not doing commentary though right now, right?
Nah. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday night marathon, round three. Abel Talamantes, chess director at the Mechanics Institute, and with me is FIDE master Paul Whitehead, who just finished his arena. I put him in an impossible situation with game in 2+1, but he did very well, as well as can be expected under those conditions. And here we are with round three of the TNM, where we got some great matchups, starting with the game we are watching right now with International Master Elliot Winslow as white against Grandmaster Gadir Guseyanov.
This is awesome.
Awesome.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
Elliot is just perfectly capable of holding his own with these guys, as we've seen.
As he showed in the last TNM, which U.S. Chess Life Online covered it. You wrote about it. I'm gonna put the link up.
I'm gonna have to read it myself.
Well, you've read it when you wrote it, but you haven't read it as it looks.
Right. And I also annotated. Well, if you can call it annotating, did they include the games that I annotated?
Yep. And
How about that?
The link is up there, so you can go
Amazing.
read Paul's article, which is in Chess Life Online. And Paul's going to have an article in next month's Chess Life print edition, which is on the immortalized on the U.S. Cadet. So that'll be.
I like that article. That one that was quite a tournament.
And it was written in Paul's style, so for better or for worse.
It was a load of baloney.
For better or for worse. So here we are.
Yeah, let's take a look at this. So this is interesting. Well, obviously, it doesn't look like Elliot can play bishop takes b5. I don't think because of queen a5. So, I mean, actually, that's possible. Then queen b3, maybe. I mean, the black's getting his typical kind of Benko-ish things going here. If I'm white, I think I want to take that pawn on b5 and get rid of it. And Elliot does. Okay, with the knight. Nice and safe. White's preparing to castle. Maybe he'll be able to target the pawn at c5. And the thing about playing these grandmasters is, I mean, what I like to do always against them was to keep it kind of simple and let them overextend themselves. And to sort of play a rope-a-dope strategy against a grandmaster. They want to beat you, they expect to beat you, and they're going to take risks trying to beat you.
And do you think that they take risks knowing that if something goes wrong in that risk, they still have the strength to be able to recover from that?
Sure. I mean, of course, they have a lot of confidence in their strength, and they also... like I said, they expect to win, and they're going to take some chances against you. And if you're clever, you can use that to your advantage and sort of let them overextend themselves and sort of just be content to sort of hit the ball back to them. And, it can work. It can actually work.
And Judith's in the chat saying that Jim Tarjan is actually having internet issues.
Oh, yikes. That's terrible.
And that is this game here against Mike Walder.
Which is just a Chigorin Roy Lopez here.
That is correct.
Yeah.
And I know, and you can see actually in his net is in the red over there. And I know he's playing from Oregon, so...
Can he? I'm curious. can you refresh your browser, and will that work, or will that just
Oh,
wipe your game out?
no. You can refresh your browser.
Okay,
But his
because I
issue is clearly net. Actually, he seems to have regained internet.
okay.
Because I see the four
Well,
bars are there now.
okay.
So
Well,
this is board
uh,
three, Walder and Tarjan.
yeah, we've got grandmasters galore. Hey, that should be a new grandmasters galore.
A
It's got
title,
a
the
kind of a
title of an article or something.
yeah, grandmasters galore. Yeah, and that was uh, yeah. So taking on e5 is one strategy. I think they they now think that d5 is maybe a better way. As far as I know, d5 maybe gives a little white a little bit more of a chance for an advantage than taking on e5.
And Gonzalo's in the chat from Uruguay. He's saying he just saw a position like this today. Fischer Smyslov, Capablanca Memorial. Fischer exchanged on e5 and then played d5 for the d5 and f5
Yeah,
square.
yeah. I mean, this has been seen in hundreds of thousands of games. So
Let's go to board two because I think they're still troubleshooting the net issues going on in the game.
okay.
This is FIDE Master Kyron Griffith against National Master Arun Dixit.
Whoa! So this is coming out of some kind of hyper accelerated dragon.
That is correct.
Um, and black has sacrificed a pawn, and white is trying to say, I'd like to exchange queens. And I'm expecting black will play queen b7 here. And who knows, this might even be some kind of book position. Queen b7 looks like the move. It does threaten mate b, or threatens the pawn of b2 and keeps the queens on. Not sure. Kyron plays a lot of sharp stuff, and has taken, as we've seen in his first two games in this tournament, goes through great lengths to keep the game in balance and play for a win.
And this is kind of a shame. It looks like Jim Tarjan and Michael Walder agreed to a draw just because of the internet issues. So that'll go down as a draw for round three, and based on the chat, what Judith's saying, he'll get a half-point bye for round four because there's just something not going right with his internet where he's at.
Okay.
So it's a draw. That was kind of a
So we're going to
gentlemanly.
miss Tarshan this today, huh?
Yeah, that was kind of a gentlemanly thing from Michael Walder.
Oh yeah,
to
of
agree to
course.
that.
Yeah.
Let's go to.
Walter Brown never would have given Tarshan a draw there.
Let's go Felix German against Jonah Bush.
Okay, we have a careful player versus a wild man, and
This is out of
you
a
can guess for yourself which one is which.
And Jonah played Benko Gambit.
Okay, declined. It looks like.
Declined. That is correct.
Well, this is a complicated situation here. Look, black's threatening knight c2 check. White's got a nice pawn center, which could be in danger of collapsing. I think black might be doing okay here. He's got a lot of activity, and with the very dynamic, unbalanced position, anything could happen here.
And actually, our board four is Christian Clemens. He's playing Ethan Guo, who also has 2 points, 2 out of 2.
Well, this is, White's got some play maybe coming up on the C file. I like White here at the moment, but it's one of those positions. It's a game.
We got
Black's just played Rook A8. That's not encouraging.
uninspiring.
Yeah.
Let's go to a battle of some very tough kids. This is Chelsea Zhu as white against mechanics volunteer Tejas Mahesh.
Okay. Well, I think that Black should be okay here. He's not going to suffer too much from the light square. If some white piece can end up on e6, it would be great for. This is a funny move going back all the way to b8. It looks like there was more prospects going to d8 and then f7 maybe, or
Yeah.
that,
And Judith is in the chat. The chat that feels far as I guess Mike prepped and was ready and excited to play Tarjan, but
Sure.
the net got
Yeah.
in the way. So they agreed to a gentleman's draw, and then he'll get the half point buy. For
They
round four.
they probably know each other from way, way back.
Probably right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although Tarzan quit chess in the was it the late 70s,
Was it-
maybe early 80s, and only came back after so many years. Incredible.
So jumping back to board one here.
So Elliot has to be careful that he doesn't get cheapoed in some way here. Black's putting on some pressure here.
Yeah. Nice bishop. The dark square bishop.
Yeah, and also, these white pieces like floating around without secure squares. I'm thinking mainly of the knight up b5. It's a little bit worrying that it's kind of, and Elliot's forcing the issue here. So if bishop f3, he's got to take back with the pawn.
Or lose the knight.
And then if black plays knight e5, I suppose Elliot can play f4, and I don't think black is getting anywhere here. So h3 looks like a good move. What about bishop f3, gf3, rook b2, and then the knight? Where's the knight gonna go?
Can it go to? Oh yeah.
Can't go. It can't actually go anywhere. This is white might have to play some awkward move like queen d3, but then comes knight e5. So rook b2 looks like it might win two pieces for a rook. And I'd be worried about Elliot's game here. Oh, rook a1. Somebody points out rook a1. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the bishop's still covering
Rook
that.
a1. Yeah, rook b2, rook a1. Nice find. It's a little bit precarious for white. If white can solidify his position, he'll have a nice game, but there's still some tactics and pieces flying around here. And the grandmaster's going to try to find it.
That's because that's what they do.
That's what they do.
Let's check in on board two with Kyron Griffith and Arun Dixit. He's still trying to trade that queen off.
Yeah, well, now white's grabbed a couple of pawns on the queen side and is
Oof, yeah.
2 pawns ahead now. This is typical of these kind of positions. Black is trying to get some counterplay, looking for a shot. White's trying to trade queens. And it's, often it's the talent of the players that decides in these issues. If you're like Bronstein or Tal or somebody, and you've got a real taste for these kind of positions with black, or Kasparov, you can often drum up some crazy attack. On the other hand,
So you can get one pawn back here, right?
yeah, 1 pawn, but that's not going to be enough, in my humble opinion. Black's going to have to gain 2 pawns back. And let's see.
And you're going to create a weakness, right, for black on d6
As well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, black will probably take on e5 first, but yeah, white's and white. If black does take on e5, white's going to have a couple of passed pawns. It's white for choice.
Let's do a check-in back on board 1. Look at this position. Like, put all the pieces are on the on A.
Well, so black played. I'm not sure what was black's last move.
Knight A6.
So it's knight A6 trying to develop the knight, and now Elliot jumps in with this really nice move, knight A7, and now the other knight goes to B8. I mean,
what do you make of this?
if I was Elliot, I'd be happy here, I think. I mean, knight C6, somehow this looks like it should be good for white. I think, with that pawn on C5, maybe dropping and it's complicated for sure. I mean, well, let's see what happens on bishop takes A6, which is a very direct move. And then if knight takes A6, the knight can go to C6, and then which threatens the pawn at E7. And I don't think white needs this bishop on E2 very much.
Just trade it out for one of those knights.
Yeah, maybe just trade it, but only if it gets you somewhere. Like you could play bishop A6, queen A6, and then maybe play bishop takes C5 if he takes with the queen. I don't know. This black's play both players look like they're playing some kind of artificially,
Wow.
It doesn't,
Now check this game out, and we expect nothing less from a game between Adam Mercado and Ashik Uzman. Already down to an endgame, but it looks like Uzman has he gotten the best of it?
He's a piece ahead, right?
Yeah, piece for pawn.
And look at this bishop E2 is a killer move, I think. Unless white can play bishop C7 check, king C8, and then rook D6. Now then just bishop A6.
Or bishop C7 check, king C8, rook C3.
Then bishop A6. You don't have
you're
a
losing
discovered check.
Yeah.
Yeah, discovered checks are one of those funny things. They're often not as effective as they seem to be. There's plenty of times when discovered checks are just worthless.
Look at that, bishop E7. I guess
black is just going to
be.
Yeah, but black is still going to be a piece ahead at the end of the day here.
Yeah.
Black for choice.
But white's got those 3 passers on the queen side, so we'll see if he can make anything happen out of that.
It will get hairy.
Let's check back on board 1 with Elliot and Gadir.
Elliot's still thinking.
And there it is. Bishop takes A6.
Bishop A6, I like that. I think it has some practical merit, that move.
And then knight A6 protects the C5.
Then the knight at A7 comes back into the game with knight C6. And which attacks the queen and attacks the pawn at E7. So this is a very practical decision by Elliot.
Let's check back on...
Black's still not showing what he's got.
Not showing the cards yet.
Yeah.
Kyron Griffith hanging on to a pawn.
Oh, white's definitely in control here.
Yeah.
a clean pawn up, and black has very little play, counterplay. This should be, and Kyron, this is, this is bread and butter for a player like Kyron who's got terrific technique here,
Right. It almost plays itself for someone like that, right?
Yeah, it could, let's exchange any piece, start exchanging a bunch of pieces.
There's Felix and Jonah.
Felix has done well here, I think. He's caught up in development and has maintained this pawn center. And I'm beginning to sort of like White's game here. Maybe just like pawn to b3, something simple like that. Yeah, I'm liking White's game.
Let's trying to find.
I'm not sure black played it energetically enough, but yeah, it's still a game. It's still a game.
Let's go back to board one, just see how that's taking shape.
So he's taken with the queen, and that so White looks like he should probably play bishop takes c5, and then if necessary he can play knight c6 and give the pawn away back that way. Is there a problem tactically with bishop takes c5? I'm not sure. I mean, it protects the knight. White could also play knight c6 right away, but I'm trying to figure. Okay, so Elliot just throws it.
Yeah, just done.
He's not overthinking things, which is good.
Yeah, he's preserved time. He's preserved his time well.
Yeah, and White's up a pawn, and black has got what? I'm not exactly sure what black has done here.
And even if he has to give that pawn back, he's giving it up.
Right, for a knight exchange. In fact, okay, so bishop e5, and so again, you have to ask, what does black have? Let's say White just goes back, bishop to e3. Maybe f5 for black? I mean, is black sort of getting in desperate mode here?
So
Flyman Goes is asking, are we worried about cheating?
We are. We are worried about it to such an extent that we catch him. We catch him. We have Dr. Ken Reagan. We send all our games from this round to him for review. So he helps us out. So every evening we have a TNM, whether it's actually the Tuesday or the Thursday. We send him the games for review. He gives us the data back. On top of that, chess.com reviews the games. So, and just to announce, we have had instances. We've had instances where it's flat out cheating and then their accounts get closed. But we've also had instances where some players score high on their expected, what's expected of them versus how they performed, and we do require cameras in those situations. And so we've done that too. So those are the ways we deal with the fair play. We take it very seriously because it is USCF rated. But definitely having Dr. Ken Reagan analyze the games for us at Mechanics, that is huge for us, and a fantastic resource that we're happy to have.
So if bishop, sorry to interrupt you, bishop e7, queen e6, and that's the kind of thing that black is going for here. It suddenly got a little bit, so Elliot probably should go back with bishop e3, and then he can defend with king g2, and I don't see what black has in that position. Bishop e3, queen e6, king g2, maybe f5, even f5 could be met by queen d5 maybe or something.
So we're seeing if Elliot can do it again, hold him hold a solid game against Gadir.
I think, I mean, Black has a little bit of possibility here on the to find something on the king side. But let's say White just plays Bishop D4. I mean, as simple as that, right? Queen moves to protect the bishop, take on E5, Queen E5. I mean, Black is better there a little bit, but is that, it can't be a clear win at all.
Let's check in on Kyron Griffith's game.
So I think players would be making a mistake listening to my commentary. and White's just, continuing to be much better here. This is going to be a slog for Black to defend this. And this is Black has gained a little something here in that White couldn't take with the rook because of rook A1 check. But even so,
So it looks like a smooth pawn up for Kyron here.
yeah, I mean, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a little tough. There's still the pawns are a long way from moving on the queen side, and Black's gonna have these moves like, if King G2, Bishop takes B3. So there's a little,
So Max House in the chat, he's saying, why is he always playing chess appeals? He always has to play him like he's cursed to play Kevin Fong. And nice haircut. Thank you very much. I got the haircut today. So in Santa Clara County, the barbershops are still open. I anticipate they may not be open very long. So I decided to go out and get the pandemic haircut. Said nice and short in case there's a couple of months of seclusion. So that was the rationale behind that. And I want to get your take on this endgame. We have Ayan Zaman against Javier Silva, king and pawn. You did the endgame lab. What do you think of this?
White's lost.
Oh, yeah.
I think White's lost. I mean, let's see. He goes after the A pawn. Black plays King F5, King G4, King F3, and while White,
it's gonna get in there.
And then the only trouble there for yeah. So Black has to be a little bit careful, perhaps, but it looks like a clear win here. King B4, King F3, King A5, and then E3 would be simple to end it. White's not going to get anywhere by just moving back with the king, that's for sure. White's one chance is to play G4, and that, in some situation, but this is hopeless.
All right, let's go back to board one. Elliot at 14 minutes left.
So to my mind, it looks like Bishop D4 is a safe move because it'll force the exchange of bishops, and after which Black is going to have some pressure, but if White can trade queens, Black is going to have next to nothing there. So Bishop D4. Let's just look at some caveman type of approach here. Bishop D4, Queen E6, Bishop E5, Queen E5, and then Queen D5. Even if White gives up a pawn, it'll be 4 against 3 on the king side and a probable draw. Black will be better, but And it's not even clear that black could win the d pawn. But I'm not sure that white has to do anything that desperate.
Let's check Christian Clemens' game. It looks like he is up a piece.
It does look like that.
And if he converts this, he'll be 3 out of 3.
And you know what? This is not a game of 2 minute and 1 second increments. So I think white has a good chance of bringing this one home.
Converting it, unlike you in your
Right.
arena. Let's check Jonah
Talking
Bush.
about the fact that I couldn't convert some games where I was crushing my opponent because I lost on time.
I can see the frustration, like you're clearly winning and then you lose on time.
With everything at stake. Well, this is going badly for Jonah, and Felix is now winning this, I think.
Yeah. Even though Jonah's currently up a pawn.
Well, the pawn at b3 is going, and then the pawn at c5 probably. Meanwhile, that black bishop is looking pretty bad. I mean, there's still play. It's still, anything can happen here. And if I was black, I would not give up in a million years. So Elliot's still wondering how to deal with this.
Yeah, and he's down to under 12 minutes. Which is still plenty of time, but he's got to be cautious of the time because Gadir's still got 22.
Right. And a position is going to be easier for black to play. So the thing for white is not to get scared of ghosts in positions like this.
Yeah, because it's easy to look at your kingside pawns and think that there may be weaknesses there when, in fact, there may not be. But again, there might be. So you got to watch out.
So white, just for the folks back home, white can't play bishop takes e7 because queen e6. Actually, maybe that is possible. Bishop takes e7, queen e6, queen d5. Oh, no. Oh, yes. And that's an interesting variation. Bishop takes e7, queen to e6. Now, if bishop takes f8, queen takes h3 is going to force mate. So if white plays queen d5, black plays queen takes e7, white plays queen takes a2, and then black plays queen g5 check and queen f4 and mates white. So Elliot has to be careful here. Not hard variation to see. I mean, the move that seems to bail white out the fastest is bishop d4, but it's going to be a defensive endeavor, or queen d5.
Queen d5, attacking the bishop, yeah,
and the rook,
and the rook,
and the queen. Can black play queen f6?
And the pawn on f7.
Right. Well, right. Can black play queen f6? If queen f6, queen a2, queen f... No, black... I don't think black can play queen f6. Oh, maybe queen a2, queen g5 check, king h1, queen f4, and white can resign.
Queen f6
So,
is played.
Yeah, I'm not... I don't know what Elliot's done here. Now he has to play bishop e3. Forced, I think. I think Elliot might have made a miscalculation here. I mean, black, he can't take the rook. He's going to get mated. So bishop e3, he's got to prevent if he can play bishop e3 and he has time to play king g2, maybe he can defend. But what happened here? Queen d5, bishop d4 was much safer, but maybe Elliot saw something that I haven't seen, that I didn't see.
And bishop e3 was played.
Yeah, that was the only move, I think. But now Gadir has a free move, and can he make something of it? Queen f3, queen a2, queen h3, threatening queen h2 mate, and I guess that might only be good for a draw if white moves the rook from f1 to d1. Black certainly wants more than a draw here. Possibly doubling rooks. Yeah.
Let's do a check-in on Kyron Griffith's game against Arun Dixit.
So black's threatening bishop takes b3, I suppose. And this could, the white's getting a little bit tied up. I'm still going to think that white is better here.
Yeah.
But black is making it difficult.
And Kyron's got plenty of time to work it out also.
Yeah.
And Elliot is down to almost 8 minutes here. After
And black just made a rook move.
rook a3. Yeah.
So king g2. This must be what Elliot was planning to do. What happens on king g2? I think Elliot's gotten himself into some trouble here, for sure.
King g2.
Or maybe Gadir got him into the trouble. So let's analyze some variations. King g2. What if black plays rook e3, just to look at it?
Takes, queen g5.
And then I think white can just run with king f2. Queen, yeah.
Queen
so that's
g2.
not good. Then king to e2. So it's more likely black's going to play something like the rook at f. The only black piece that's not doing anything is the rook at f8. Maybe he'll play rook b8. I'm trying to see something clear here. Does it help black to play pawn to e6? Maybe. Maybe it will help black to play pawn e6. But I mean, what is Elliot going to do if he doesn't play king g2? It's like, yeah, he plays it.
And then it's almost as if black now has another opportunity to bring a piece into the game.
Yeah, or play e6 or something like that. Find some way to improve his position. And if you gave white a few moves, it would still be tough for white to sort of find the correct defensive setup for his pieces. He's under a lot of pressure here. I think this is not going well for Elliot.
And look at this position in the game between Adam Mercado and Ashik Uzman. Ashik is still up material, but now
everything hinges on whether black can defend this looks like a win for black.
A win for black.
Yeah.
Despite that, right?
Because he can just take the pawn at b5 with the king, and then he can just defend the pawn at g6 with the knight from behind.
And then the king will just pick up that other pawn.
And then the king can pick up the other pawn, and it's a straightforward win.
We'll keep an eye on that. Actually, another
Hey,
game.
Michael Walder.
Hey there.
Nice draw with Tarzan.
Fantastic.
Well done. I heard
you should be proud
for the draw.
Yeah, which is too bad. Hey, Alexey.
Hi, Alexey.
And now Felix is up. So
Yeah,
so yeah.
Black's mission, should he choose to accept it, is to try to trade off those two white pawns for, to just trade off as many pawns as you can. That should be the goal here for Black. If you can somehow trade off these pawns, this is going to be this is a lost position. But
And Gadir on board one has played rook f to a8.
he's connecting the rooks. Elliot needs to find a way to trade queens here. That would be the ultimate thing is for white would be to trade queens.
And Mike Walder's in the chat. Yeah, Tarzan had a bad internet connection.
Well, I really like this rook c5 move. Although rook e3 now is, I think, wait a minute. Oh, then queen takes a8 check. I really like rook c5. It's a nice try.
Well, that almost sort of solves a problem, no? Because
it could if it works. If I can trade queens here, he's going to be okay. So that's Elliot's goal.
Well, where's the bishop going to go now?
Well, can Black play if rook e3? Then that's the question. Can Black actually do that? I don't think so. White plays queen a8 check, and then he can take. Yeah, Black has to do something like this. All right, so
right, because if rook e3, queen takes a8 check.
A8.
You could actually still.
It wouldn't work for Black.
It just wouldn't work.
But now Black's targeting this f3 pawn. Can White play, and White can't play pawn e5, I guess, because of queen g5 check, and then taking on e3. Michael Walter, you're a hero for offering Tarzan a draw there.
Yeah.
Walter Brown never would have done that. And neither would have Jay Whitehead.
It's funny, we were having a conversation in the arena about whether, as chess players, do you feel better getting the point regardless of how you got it, or losing or drawing, but you played a beautiful game, right? And Paul Whitehead and Josiah Stearman both said, I'll take the point. I want the point.
Yeah, I mean, it's the competitive, it's the competitive thing.
Yeah.
Now, in something like this Tarzan internet thing, I think I'm all for what Michael Walter did, and I don't think neither Josiah or I would have been like, oh, you got to give me the point, I don't think so. But there are players that don't look at it that way, and that's part of the game too. And
doesn't it feel like White is starting to get the flow back?
Well, he's giving up a pawn here to exchange rooks, and so yeah, this could so if Black plays bishop takes e3. Yeah, it's interesting how both players have connected their rooks, and now they feel great about themselves.
So Judith is saying. So Judith was the tournament director at the Illinois Class Championship this weekend, online, of course. Gadir was playing Alex Lenderman, and Gadir lost electricity in his street in Baku, and Lenderman offered a draw.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think there are players that would not have. It depends on the rules that are govern the tournament as well. But I agree. most people I think are like that, but there were competitors that I know of, and there probably still are that would never, that would be like, take advantage of every opportunity, um,
Yeah.
to win the game.
It's like, hey, that's your internet. You lost.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but white, but black isn't losing a pawn here, right?
Well, I think black's winning. Maybe is black winning a pawn? Let's take a look at this. So,
Because you got to take the a8 rook, unless that was another
yeah,
way.
but I think black can play
Oh,
rook.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, can he play rook e3 and give up the rook with check? I doubt it. But maybe queen. Yeah. So, and if rook a2 check, that doesn't seem to get anywhere because Elliot interposes.
Hey,
Elliot is a genius. I mean, apart from that, so look at this nice move Gadir comes up with. Not that defends it's actually only superficially a great move because Elliot has a wonderful reply, but he has to see it, and he can just play queen takes a8 check with a completely equal game.
oh wow, yeah. Queen takes a8, queen takes a8, rook c8.
And then it's a drawn rook and pawn ending. Maybe just a tiny bit better for black, but I mean, Elliot will see it. I mean, queen d4. Michael's suggesting queen d4 here, but then queen e2 check.
But the thing too is Elliot is under 4 minutes.
Well, Elliot, this is not a difficult tactic, and
But
we'll.
but in terms of playing on and maintaining the draw, though,
I think Elliot will draw easily if he
yeah.
plays queen a8 check. He's and he doesn't see it. This is too bad. Huh. Although, now with the queens on, black can make all kinds of trouble here. But
And there's no chance that Elliot wanted to hang on to the queens on the board.
I don't see why this would be any better. I mean, white's still pretty solid, but this doesn't look like it would be any better than playing queen takes a8 check. And so black can make moves and torture white for a long time here. This is the problem with this, you know.
Let's do a check in on Kyron Griffith's game here.
Yeah.
Oh no, he's good. He's up the exchange now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, black's getting a little something here though, right? Black
Oh,
can
it's
pick
black's
up
move. Yeah, it's black's
black
move.
can pick up the B pawn, and he can even play rook g2 maybe. So this is not an this is maybe not even a win for white, and this is very tough.
And Arun Dixit at about 4 minutes in time. We'll keep an eye on that game. Let's go back to board one.
I think black has good chances to hold this. Yeah, Elliot's now rook c8 check doesn't quite work because black will go probably up with the king or something. I don't know. Yeah, these kind of tactics you don't want. The queens. You want the queens off the board. And you don't want to be behind time in these kind of situations. The thing is, though, Elliot's sharp too in these positions, and although it's worrisome that he doesn't quite have a lot of time.
Yeah, that gets in the way. That can get in the way for sure.
If black plays queen a3, okay, so now white can trade rooks and play king f2. Or king f3 right away. So Elliot's like, I'm not going to trade anything. I'm playing for the win, Yeah. and that's what Michael says. He's maybe playing for the win. I mean,
Yeah.
possible
So,
to do
so
that.
he may have seen that tactic and said, I'm going
Right.
for it."
Yeah. And here he goes. I mean, this is
To a higher rated player, does this like just reverse the pressure when you see someone like coming after you like that?
well, the thing that makes a grandmaster is their objectivity. I mean, they're not going to go off the rails,
Yeah.
and get subjective. So at at the same time that both players are trying to give each other rope, they're also trying to remain objective, and this seems to open up another line for the black rook to go to f8. So I'm not convinced that this is a good move on Elliot's part either.
Right, and those e
Yeah,
pawns are not looking the hottest, I guess, right now.
yeah,
But I mean, there's openings
yeah.
both
I
ways. So
mean,
Ellie just needs to get his queen a little more active.
it seems to me that White has compromised his position. It just kind of looks that way to me. Um,
Whoa.
okay, so now if rook e3, rook h5 check, I bet you that doesn't even work. Uh,
Can black go rook
well,
d2?
Elliot just lost his queen, rook d2.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
He missed a draw with queen takes a8 check.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
Too bad.
Yeah, too bad for Elliot there. He had it with queen. He had a draw there with queen takes a8 check. He's keeping losing chances alive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that before.
So black is driving the king to the other side of the board there.
So White has to target the e7 pawn, and then he has to win it. And then he has to go through a whole bunch of other things to win the game after that. So, stay tuned, folks. This game is going to go on for a long time,
And black
or should go on for a long time.
trying to make fast moves to preserve the little time.
Yeah, I don't think this is a win for White.
The problem for Arun is Kyron will play this position out and squeeze every last drop he can out of it. And
Yeah.
and
Well,
with
sure.
and with Arun's time deficit, let's see if that pressure becomes too much.
I feel really bad for Elliot missing that one queen takes a8 check. It's funny. It's like if you don't see a move like that right away, you're probably not going to see it at all. That's how chess works.
And
It's funny.
he spent some time. I mean, it wasn't like he replied right away.
Right.
It just
Yeah, it's just one of those things. You either see the move right away, or you're not going to see it. That's kind of chess logic there.
Let's look at this game here. We haven't looked at it yet. This is Nicholas Wang as black against
Wow, black is on the attack.
Nicholas Boldy. But how to close the show? I think that's what he's
Oh, I
trying.
think black should be able to close the show here. There must be a way. Okay, so he played queen h1, king f2. Did black have something in that position? Um,
Back to king f2 here. You mean?
yeah. Yeah, he has rook takes d2 here.
Oh yeah, because
And if queen
h1 would
takes
be with
h1,
check. Yeah.
queen takes h1, rook e8 takes e2 mate.
Oh yeah. Wow.
But black could play, and if black plays white plays rook takes g3, black takes on g3 with check, and then takes the queen. So white would have to play queen takes d2, and then black could play queen takes b1. And then white could play rook takes g3 check. It still looks like it's
So he could
okay.
still do it, right? As long as he
Right.
sees it.
Yeah. He
Yep.
could play rook takes d2 now, if he wanted to. And then queen h1,
Right.
king f2, and
Take the b1 rook, right? If you wanted
he
to.
could even play knight. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Also, pinning the knight with bishop d4 looks very strong. I think black should find a way in here. Definitely a nice attacking position for black, but he has to figure it out.
So in earlier games, Javier Silva won his game. Ashik Uzman did convert that knight and pawn ending, and Felix German converted his game as well. As did
Right.
Christian Clemens. He's at 3-0, so
Wow, Christian.
he'll have
Christian's making maybe his breakout tournament. He's going to win this thing. He's going to beat Gadir. He's going to beat Tarjan. He's going to beat Kyron. He's going to beat Elliott.
and he's gonna he's gonna
you know.
retire. He's gonna retire from chess wearing the belt, the championship.
Yeah,
belt.
exactly.
Let's go back to
I'm waiting for it.
Kyron Griffith here, trying to find a way.
Well, what do people think here? Alexey, Mike, Walter, who's ever watching here? I think this is not a win.
I think
for
theoretically it's probably not or difficult. I think Kyron will create an opportunity because of the time deficit.
And Christian's saying he's only 2-1. He lost to Gusenev.
Oh, did you already? For some reason, I thought you were. Oh, you must have been playing because I know your opponent was 2-0. So I guess you were playing up the 2-0 player as the highest rated 1 out of 2. So that explains it. Okay, 2-1, still good, still worthy of mention.
Now, how's white gonna win here? It's just I don't see it.
I've seen so many times Kyron just press,
Right.
and then in time
Oh,
trouble.
and does he blunder? No. Bishop c4, rook c2, bishop b5, rook c7, and then white can probably come close to winning that. I think black needs to keep the rook on. That's very smart.
That was almost like bait.
Yeah. Well, coming up is rook b7 maybe, so there's a little bit of,
And Arun is getting close to under a minute. In
Yeah.
This game.
Okay, so black's gonna if rook b7, rook d5, and if the other rook goes to b5, then rook d2 check. I don't see that white's gonna get anywhere with this.
I think it'll happen.
And I like g5 too, with the idea of king g6 and king f5.
Now that forces a trade of rooks, no?
Well, no, black can
No,
play rook d5.
Yeah, that's right, to take the e5 pawn.
And if the other rook goes to b5, then he can play rook d2 check. Even that may not end up winning the e7 pawn.
39 seconds for Arun Dixit.
He's going to have to come up with something fast. Oh, now Kyron can't. This is not a win now. I'm not sure why Kyron went for this. This should be easily held by black.
I don't know.
I like somebody has a username of I have the coronavirus.
Yeah, he plays in the arenas, Nick's arena usually. Actually,
Uh huh.
yeah.
I mean, black doesn't even have to do anything particularly intelligent here to draw the game. You know, it's just white can force the exchange of rooks now with rook
Rook
f2, but
f2.
I don't think that that's a win.
He's trying to find it though.
Well, he's trying to find the moves that gives white black the most trouble, but uh, you're right about Kyron pulling out.
Oh, I've seen it so many times
Oh,
where
yeah,
he
me too.
induces a mistake and uses the time trouble.
Yeah,
I mean, he did it in rounds 1 and 2.
yeah.
He was like losing both
No,
of
this
those
is
games.
this should be a draw.
I disagree. I think he's gonna find a way to do it. Just because we've seen it I've seen it so many times.
Right. No, I know what you mean.
Like I expect him to induce a mistake. But Arun is a talented player.
But he's a young, talented player.
That's true too. And Kyron can move pretty fast. I mean, it's all like scarily fast.
Oh, sure.
Especially when you see the clock ticking back like that, where you actually see the.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying, right?
Yeah. And black is trying to force the issue here, which I'm not sure is a good idea. Bishop d5 would have been more solid.
And I'm sure Kyron knows that black is completely sweating it out, trying to find. No, there's still a few. There's still a few other games going, Alexey.
Yeah, white is the only one who can win here. But okay, now rook h7 wins the pawn.
He's under 10
Yeah,
seconds.
this was a mistake. A total mistake was g4. This is playing for the loss, folks.
And now black's got to deal with the pressure of what's happening here.
Bishop takes g2 is Alexei's idea here, but it's not going to work.
Yeah. Well, especially now
Black
that
blundered a pawn. Black blundered a pawn, trying to be active.
can't you just push that pawn now?
Looks to me
H4?
like that's probably the right thing. Yeah, h4. If f3 takes king f3, h5. I think white's got that in the bag. h4 looks like a win. I don't even see what black can do after that. That's just it. Takes, and then h5. Elliot, you missed queen takes a8 check and rook c8 check. Why does Karen play this? Is this actually good too? F2 check?
They ran out of time.
Yeah, black would be in Sitzwang.
Good game by Kyron, taking it to him. And let's check in on this game. Look at this game between Chelsea Zhu and Tejas Mahesh. Chelsea with the pressure. But now the queens are off the board. Does that change anything?
Well, no, black is going to play d5. Black should have played king e6, breaking the blockade, and then d5. Black just missed king e6. See, this is the kind of thing that masters see easily, and now white has a nice blockade. Of course, his rook is dead. So All black has to do is open one file somewhere on the king side, and its game's going to be over.
And black at 13 seconds. Uh-oh.
Oh no!
Oh, that's too bad.
Yikes!
Yeah, that is time trouble.
Yeah.
Too bad.
How
Chelsea Zoo.
unfortunate! Black was winning.
So back to Nicholas Wang's game against Nicholas
Oh
Goldie.
wow! Nicholas has found a way in. Look at this, winning easily. Well done, Nicholas. He must have. I'm not sure what the sequence was, but he found a way to win.
Yeah.
Nicholas is a talented player.
Yeah.
We found that to be true. A whole rook up, black is not going to have any problem here, or shouldn't have any problem.
And I'm wondering if this is the last game. There are a few games I didn't pull up, but this is the last game of the games that I have up. So.
Queen c3 is mate. Oh no, he does this instead. Not bad either. Well, let's take a look at another game.
This is it. This is.
This is the last game.
Oh, I'm being told Kaylin Melville's game is still going.
And this game is
It's in the books.
finally over.
Let me find that game real quick here. Kaylin. So now people get to see the behind the scenes
Yeah.
TD stuff we do here.
And Tarzan has to take another draw. Wow, that's...
Oh, I gotta fix the board now. So.
Oh, this game is going to take a while to get over.
Whoops.
It's still in the middle game.
Yeah, how'd that happen? Let's see here. Let me
Does that mean we get paid overtime, Abel?
This is bonus coverage. Let's see.
Bonus coverage.
as they call it. Let's see.
Now that's a good spin-off.
You like that? It makes it feel like a win for everyone, right?
Yeah.
When it's just another game. There we go.
Bogus coverage.
Bogus coverage.
Yeah.
So
bonus coverage. These guys are going to keep us waiting an extra 10 minutes. Forfeit them both.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's have this game in the background, and the next round starts 15 minutes. So.
Okay.
But the thing is that, well, actually, this game won't take a while. I mean, one player has 2 minutes 40, another 4 minutes 43.
Yeah, it's going to be over in 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, it just they haven't played as many moves as we would have thought.
So the next round starts at 10? I mean...
yeah, I hope not. 15 minutes. Well, less than that, probably. It's basically going to start a few minutes after this game ends.
Right.
So, Gadir defeats Elliot Winslow. Made it close, though. Elliot did. And Jim Tarjan, unfortunately, had internet issues. And Judith saying you could blame Comcast. So, so he is out of the mix there. So, Kyron with 3-0, Gadir with 3-0. And actually, I'll let me put this.
Take a break. Do you want to take a break, Abel? Before I.
Yeah, actually, yeah. Just give me a few minutes. I'm gonna go get a drink, and then I'll let you cover this. I'll just be back in a couple.
Okay. All right, everybody. What we've got? We can talk. We can talk dirt behind Abel's back. You guys ready? I think white is crushing black here. It looks like if D takes C5, pawn to D6, not good. Oh, he played bishop takes c5. Okay. It was a pawn at c5, not a piece. So, Elliot, can people hear me or not? Because okay, so you can hear me even though the browser, there's a sign up there that says the browser's not making sound. I don't know if you want to hear me, but look at this position. Two pawns on the sixth rank. Black's rook at a8, a spectator. Lava pawns. Is that what they're called? Lava pawns? You gotta like White's game here. He can regain the piece at will by playing d7. Just doesn't look good for Black. Lava pawns. How about the donkey at b6, everybody? Or the donkey at f6, the donkey at f6 and h6. And White's just going full steam ahead here, regaining the piece with a pawn on the seventh rank. And Black the material is now temporarily even. White has a pawn on d7, which is quite strong. And Black is in trouble. Black has to somehow neutralize this pawn at d7. And so what's the natural move for White here? Probably rook d1. And who knows? Black. If I'm Black, I'm dreaming of bishops of opposite color endgame, with all the pawns off the board. A rook c1 might have been good. I'm not sure that White has played this. If Black can somehow find a way to play bishop d4 here or something like that, could actually survive for a move or two.
Why do I have a message on my? No, I don't want sounds.
I think it's when you took your earphones out, this came up.
Oh, okay. That was interesting.
I think.
All right, you want to go take a break?
I will. And
take it.
You know how that expression, I'll go lick my wounds?
Yes.
Maybe I'll go lick everybody else's wounds since I don't have any right now. It's been a tough little tournament so far. Very, very, a lot of pathos.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's disgusting.
I mean, it's tough for some players to, grind it out and put everything into it and then go haywire at the end, right?
Yeah. Hey, thanks everybody for watching, and it's not over yet. We have another round coming up.
Yep, 8 p.m.
And I'll be right back.
All right, 8 p.m. will be round 4 of the TNM.
Grandmaster versus amateur, and amateur beating grandmaster, and all those other wonderful things.
Anything can happen at the Tuesday night marathon at Mechanics. All right, this is the final game in the top section. So as soon as this game is over, Judith has the results ready to go, and then we'll pair the round, and then go from there. And this is Kalen Melville against Roger Shee, I think. Hey, Tejas, Fiery Griffin. That was a tough game for you. We saw that end. That was tough, but blundering a rook. But you were not the only player to do that. Elliot Winslow blundered a queen, and there was another player that just hung something at the very end. So it happens. Time pressure's tough, especially for Arun Dixit, who played very well against Kyron Griffith. But you just felt that Kyron was gonna take advantage of the time trouble that Arun was in, and he did, and he converted that. The time is 7:52. 8 minutes to 8 o'clock. Judging from the time left in this game, I think we should be starting everything pretty much on time for the next round. And then round 4 will be in the books, the November Tuesday night marathon. Kalen putting the pressure on here. And don't forget, we have the Thursday night marathon also. We had round 1 last Thursday. The Thursday night marathon is a game in 60 plus 5. So it is a longer time control. And it's 5 rounds covering November and December because it's one game per evening. So if you're watching and you're interested in the Thursday night marathon, we have a fantastic turnout for that as well. I think we're almost at 40 players for that, which was absolutely amazing. So, I mean, the prize pool was based on 20, so it almost doubled. So, exciting stuff going on at Mechanics. The Thursday marathon's a hit, so we're really happy to see that. Uh-oh. And this is tough because we know the time pressures on Kalen here. He's trying to get the rook to F1 to connect. Nope. Oof. Oh, man. That is tough. Very tough. And then we have another situation where time pressure got the best of a player, and in this case, Kalen. And Black just going for the easy end game here. So this game, yep, it reared its ugly head. Yeah, this was a round where players got caught, and that is a tough one. So all the games are now officially in the books, and the next round will be starting shortly. Tough round. Very tough round. Book 'em, Dano. All right, so let me close out the ton of games I had open. I kind of thought about whether it's better to just go off stream and then come back on after we pull up the games. But like, I don't want to do that to people. So this is the spreadsheet we use here. Let's see. I'll just take that off for now, actually. So I'll just take that off, and then as Judith is pairing the round, starts the games and then inputs the game links. I can then pull up the games and then we'll go from there. So, and the pairings apparently have been posted, so let me throw that link in there so players can see what we're dealing with. Standings and pairings are up. This is the link right there. Go follow that and you can see everything and what it looks like. Oh, is it not done yet? Yeah, so the pairings are up. Board one is Gadir Gusainov, 3 0 against FIDE Master Kyron Griffith. The only two players with 3 0. Elliot. Board two is Elliot Winslow against Michael Walder. A match series that's been done absolutely to death, so we're going to see it again. And then board three is National Master Arun Dixit, who had kind of a heartbreaker against Kyron, playing a very tough Chelsea Zoo. And board four, Ashik Uzaman and Christian Clemens. And a good matchup on board five with Nicholas Wang and Nitish, Nathan. And then on the top board in the under 1800, Philip Gerstoft, who was the top rated player in the section, he's got 2.5, playing the Sebi Meister, Sebi Suarez. So we'll keep an eye on those games. Pairings are up. It looks like we will be starting the round about on time. So very nice. Thank you, Judith, for getting everything together and getting everything ready. Round three is in the books. The only two perfect scores in the top section are FIDE Master Kyron Griffith and Grandmaster Gadir Gusainov. They are facing off against each other, which should be a fun match on board one. And then we have Michael Walder and Elliot Winslow duking it out on board two. And I think there was a TNM not too long ago where they actually put their total match series on chess.com is like, tons of games. And who do we got here? We got Paul back. How's it going?
All right. I sent you a text message.
All right.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I don't see a chessboard.
No, I took it out because there's no board to see because we're.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull up the games after they're set up. So instead of someone watching like my screen and seeing all kinds of different things, I figure we'd just take the board out and then when we're ready to go.
So this will be my new way of being on the.
Like Twilight Zone or what? Trying to scare us?
Hello, everybody. It's Chess Monster 666.
Like
commenting on your game.
Ghoul Whitehead, says Elliot Winslow.
Yeah, here we go, everybody.
Yeah. This is a chess broadcast, despite not seeing any kind of chessboard and Paul looking like he's haunted.
Okay.
Maybe I should put up a chessboard just to not
let's get serious here, folks.
Freak people out.
Yeah, this is about chess here.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me see what's going on here. Round 4 will be starting any minute now. And Elliot's saying in San Francisco every day is Halloween.
It's looking more and more like that.
That could be very true. A lot of characters, including us, in San Francisco. So the games will be starting shortly, and then as
I'm rooting for Christian Clemens now. Elliot losing all of his games. I need a new hometown hero. I really do.
And Christian Clemens is certainly that because he's a fixture at the Mechanics Institute, especially the Tuesday night marathons, and he has his little routines. So at the Mechanics Institute, he'll start his game at the marathon, and then at some point he checks out and eats dinner. He brings dinner and goes into the hallway, starts chowing away, and he was on camera in one of the marathons, and Judith noted he was doing the exact same thing at home. He was playing and he was eating dinner. So some things don't change especially when you got your routines, your evening routines. So I'll be able to pull up some games shortly here because they have started, and pretty soon I will activate the board. Since we anticipate covering the top few boards, uh, we'll just stick with those. And yeah, let's just get that going and together.
I
And
kind of like the black screen there. Call out the moves, and we'll try to find the right. We'll guess what's going on
you
in the
you
game.
like that, huh? Okay.
Yeah, don't even tell us who the players are. Let's.
Well, that could be interesting, actually. I'm saying I'm not going to say whose game this is and who's who, but just from what you see, what do you think?
Have you ever had one of those cars where the check engine light comes on and you put a piece of black tape over it?
Like it doesn't exist then?
Yeah. So uh,
uh,
we can do that. We can do that with the computer. Everybody can do that with their computer at home.
all right.
Just put a piece of black tape
Right,
over the players' names, and then part of the fun will be trying to guess who they are.
Okay, so here we go. The game is afoot. And here on board one, we have FIDE Master Kyron Griffith as black against Grandmaster Gadir Guseyanov.
And we have this Caro-Kann where black takes on f6, this very super solid kind of system. I mean, I would not like this with black, but that's just a question of
It's like taste.
taste, I suppose. I don't understand these positions really very much for either side.
And um,
I'm not.
Kyron is very comfortable. He plays the Caro-Kann often.
Yeah.
Or he's usually comfortable with it.
This was the opening where Elliot missed a mate and won against Kyron, and then beat him anyway.
That's right.
I guess if you know this stuff, I just never was really interested in getting into these positions.
So here we are, board two. Elliot Winslow and Michael Walder.
Oh no!
And as I said, this one's been done to death. But if
Right.
it's been done to death, let's do it again.
Right. So is this some Nimzo Indian with? I guess this is called the Rubinstein variation.
Correct.
With E3
Correct.
And black plays 5.
Hubner Rubinstein variation.
Oh, okay.
Not that I knew that before that. It says that. So I assume it's true.
And that's about all I know, except for that Elliot doesn't allow his pawns to get doubled on c3. And that's probably a safer way to play this.
So speaking of your hometown hero, here is Ashik Uzuman as white against Christian Clemens. And what happened here? It was a King's Gambit.
Yeah, King's Gambit. I recognize this. A King's Gambit of some stripe or other.
The Abazia defense. It was accepted modern Abazia defense.
So what's black going to do here? I mean, if this is book, I don't know it. I mean, black could be in some danger here, but I've played the King's Gambit. I like it for white. I mean, especially if you can get a nice pawn center or something, or positional. Spassky played it 12 times, I think, or 13 times, and I think he won every game with it. Maybe one draw or something like that. So
against top level play?
Yeah, he beat Bobby Fischer with it, with the King's Gambit. And Bronstein was another player who played the King's Gambit. So there were some modern players, particularly Spassky and Bronstein. They stand out as the top players that played this opening. I mean, and Fischer played it as well, of course, a few times. So every E4 player has played the King's Gambit at one point. You're like, you learn chess and you go like, wow, the King's Gambit, you got to play it. If you're an E4 player,
Like it's some,
Yeah, I mean the Queen's Gambit,
Honor.
the Queen's Gambit was a good movie, and we should talk about that now that I've seen it a little bit more. But the King's Gambit has a romance about it that the Queen's Gambit doesn't have. Um, what did you think of the movie, Abel?
Oh, I love. I mean the series. I loved it.
The
Um,
series, rather.
what I really liked for me was I really enjoyed the relationship between her as a child and Mr. Scheibel that taught her chess and
Hmm.
taught her in a sort of disciplined way.
Right,
And not only that, went to the next step of sending her the money for her first entry fee.
right, and
Right.
then was one of her biggest fans, and she
Right,
didn't even
that you
know it.
find out at the end, right? And I thought that was really for me in terms of something I wanted to see because at after after I saw that in the second or third episode, right? He spots her the entry fee, mails it to her. I kept saying, I hope that somehow comes back in some way because, you know, that was really the push she needed, right, to kind of venture into this world. And I really loved how they did it in the final episode with regards to that. Yeah, no, I loved it from that angle, and I think it's partly because I used to be a coach, and and especially I've coached players from beginner level, and so I guess for me I sort of identified with that a little bit more than I identified, even though I used to play tournaments all the time, obviously not at that level, but as a coach I identified with that part of the storyline very deeply, right? Not that I didn't like the other parts of the movie, but I loved how it came together in the final episode. It was fantastic, and I think it's great for chess and just kind of opening people's eyes to chess and women in chess, and
Yeah.
and then now other people have taken it further in terms of her style and the fashion and that element to it, and it's really cool. It's just good for chess all around, like
Yeah, it's funny, let's take a look at board one, maybe, or
Yep.
something like that. Um, yeah, so this is interesting game. Well, I keep thinking about the fact that I was out of chess for so many years, and I think one of the things that I'm able to do quite easily, actually, is to not see things in a chess way, and I found myself not even realizing I was watching a chess movie
Right.
or a chess series for a lot of this, and instead just being kind of captivated by the charismatic lead actor um, and sort of the glamour of the whole of her persona and so on and so forth. And the chess we really took a background to for me for some reason watching it.
And
Hi.
we're gonna have Alexey join.
Yeah, good.
Hey there.
Here, let me see.
We don't see your picture yet.
This-
Oh, well, let me see if I can do that. Hmm.
I don't know if
And
it's
and in the chess cafe, like I was saying during my a little arena, we have this girl. What's her name again, Abel?
Stella.
Stella. And she just her when we were talking about the movie, The Queen's Gambit, her face just lit up.
Yeah.
Like it's just was so great for her to have this movie to see that and this wonderful role model, I suppose, in some ways.
Yeah. No. And some of the criticism we saw had to do with because she's struggling with addiction. She's struggling with a lot of things.
Being a human being.
Yeah, just being human. And if you judge the series on like 3 4 episodes, 5 episodes even, you sort of miss the ending where, you know, it
Redemption.
is truly redemption. Actually, that's,
Oh,
hey there.
And
hey,
all.
I finally figured out what button to push. Sorry about that.
No, no
Hi,
problem.
Alexey. And
Hi.
all of her friends come through for her at the end. So,
Exactly, and that's
yeah.
the thing, and they actually encourage her to, you know, do it the right way, do it this way.
Right.
We got your back, and yeah, it was super cool.
It was a nice story. Yeah.
What'd you think, Alexi, The Queen's Gambit?
Well, I've read the entire book, but I'm only partway through the
The
series, so
series,
Okay.
I'm capable of making the full comment on that
and,
yet.
And I haven't read the book.
and did you read the book like long ago or just recently?
I actually wrote an essay about all that, which I'll put in the chat, but I'll also
Sure.
summarize it too if you want. But I read the book pretty much when it came out,
Oh wow.
so
Yeah.
that was in 1983, and then I reread it recently.
Yeah,
So.
I just got the book, so when I have free time, which I never have, I plan on reading it.
But when I wrote the essay, I pointed out that some of the things that happened to Beth happened to me too. So I definitely could relate to the book.
Now,
Very cool.
how did that make an did it make any impact in terms of, you know, you being a chess player after you read that book? Did that give you any kind of inspiration push?
Um, I mean, the book is a little bit darker. So
Well, now I want to read it for sure.
I see there's a question or a comment. It said, Alexei, who paid the entrance fees? So I'm not sure what that means.
Well, I think Lex Witch 2 had said that she paid her entry fee. Remember? Well, you didn't see the movie. I mean,
I just started it. Yeah,
there's a
I've
point
seen
where she
parts of
goes
it.
to her first tournament and she pays her entry fee or something like
So
that.
she
Oh,
wrote
okay,
she wrote a
okay.
letter to the
Right.
janitor.
No, that was true in the book too. But yeah, I mean,
No, the black girl didn't pay
yeah, the
for that
janitor
first one.
paid in the book.
It,
Yeah, the janitor.
and
Yeah.
in the series
So,
also, and actually in the series, she says, if you loan me the $5, I'll pay you 10 back,
right.
and
And
that
then she never pays. In the book, she never pays them back.
and
So,
She doesn't in the
yeah, she does,
in the
and
series either.
and then, you know, he passes away, and then she's all, I
right.
owed him $10.
Yeah. So I mean, no, I didn't. I didn't have a janitor paying my entry fee, so I guess that's not a similar thing. But
Well, you know, Lex Witch too. There was a later point in the movie where the her friend did pay her way to Moscow.
oh, that's what he's talking about.
So that's what. So both nobody's wrong here. Everybody's right, but it's two different stories.
Right.
In
Right.
the series.
Yeah.
But you know, like some of it resonated with me. Like, you know, I started playing chess in Lincoln, Nebraska, and there were a couple of people who, you know, I started my tournament career there at age 9, but I moved away when I was 11. But surprisingly, there were people who kept clippings of me up on their wall after a lot of years, and I found that out after they passed away. Two different
Wow.
older gentlemen. So yeah, that was kind of interesting parallel.
It's interesting. I mean, there are fans of the game. You know, I think that some of us don't realize that there are people that look up to champions and strong players and root for them and follow their careers.
Yeah, especially when they knew you when you were a little girl, and so they feel invested, like
Right.
that you were someone special to them, and you find out after they pass away that they were still thinking about you. So that's kind of, you know, poignant.
Yeah.
And in
That's
their own
interesting.
way, that they, you know, they were part of that journey with them.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
So what do you think of this? King on e3 on move
Wow.
9.
Yeah, let's see who's
I
game
like
are we
it for
looking at here.
white. I like it for white. Steinitz would love this. The king is a fighting piece, and
It can go in any
Really?
direction.
You're not worried about a rook coming to e8 or anything?
well, I'll just go back to f2 and be
I mean,
and be
I mean,
happy.
the king can go in any
That's
direction,
funny.
right? So that's a great thing.
I'll be happy. I think the white king is safe for the moment, and the game is going to go on here.
I mean, does white have any material to compensate for this awkward king position?
I think it's even material.
Then I'm not sure I like having my king on e3.
Yeah, it's the price you pay sometimes when you play
Alexey,
the king.
stick into the basics.
Yeah, I don't think I like it.
Let's check it out.
Yeah, it's even black's move here.
Let's check
So,
board
yeah.
1 here. What do we think of this?
Oh, Gadira's just played bishop takes f5.
Look at this in this position.
Oh boy!
Yeah.
If this works, this is not.
Wow. Yeah, that's exciting.
Bishop takes
All right,
f5.
so let's analyze it. Let's analyze it here. All right, so first of all, what if black plays pawn takes bishop?
I guess there the idea is going to be something like queen h5, queen g5, and queen g7 mate. I mean, something like that.
that's a good one.
Yeah,
Right. Yeah, but
and interesting.
why wouldn't we take with the bishop then, so that we don't allow the queen into g7? Like, why are we not taking with the bishop, Paul?
Well, I guess white will play knight takes bishop.
knight
Probably going to
takes-
try the same
yeah.
thing.
Right. That's a good point. That is-
Probably going to do the same thing.
this is a good move
But
for
does
white.
it win? This is the kind of thing that, when you play an opening like this for black and you've studied it and you think, you should know these tricks, and then suddenly wham,
Yeah, this is a
Yikes.
win for sure.
this is, I'd be really disappointed if this worked for white.
Well, I predict that Chiron is going into a long think. That's what I'm predicting.
Yeah. He certainly was not expecting that.
So G takes f5, knight takes f5, and black can't play bishop to f8 because of queen g4 check, king h8, bishop g7 check, and then that's mate. Or it made in the next move, king g8, knight h6 mate. So
Okay.
somebody's asking, what about bishop takes g3? But then white's going to play just bishop takes e6, and I guess black can play bishop h2 check, king h1, and then take back on e6.
But then your bishop might get trapped there, Paul. With
Your
G.
bishop's going to get trapped, and white's going to have black's going to have a little bit of a Swiss cheese on the king side. That's a chess.
A lot of holes.
Technical,
a lot of holes.
That's a
Chess technical term. I love
technical
it.
chess term, folks.
We only use scientific
Hey, that's
language
what we should
here.
do all evening, is use food terms and make ourselves really hungry. Like start talking about Swiss cheese.
Yeah,
And,
it's like that was
Right.
such a great. That's talk about Oreo or something.
Yeah.
This game was first played in Frankfurter. Frankfurt.
and then we'll be so starving at the end of it all.
Takes with the bishop.
Right.
But hey, I was right about one thing. Chiron is going into a big think.
I don't know about that.
Oh, they just played.
Oh no, he already moved?
Yeah.
Did he move?
Yeah, he just.
Oh, he
played it.
took it. Oh, okay. Well, he did take at least 2 minutes of thinking before he did that.
So is black really defenseless here after G takes f5, queen, I suppose queen to h5 or queen takes f5?
Yeah, queen h5 or queen f5, right? One of those.
Wow, it takes with the pawn.
Well, that's what we were just talking about. Now we have to.
He has to do it because otherwise he's just down a pawn against the grand man. Oh, now
queen
white
takes f5.
has 2 pawns, and
And an attack. Yeah.
and an attack. So it's um, bishop f8 or f. Looks like bishop f8 might be forced here. And you can see why this is kind of an easy decision for white to make. He's got a nice, you know, attack, and sometimes you don't even have to think about variations too much. You already have two pawns in a solid position, so it's not too much of a stretch to think that this is kind of okay.
What would Vukovic say about this, Paul?
Art of attack.
I don't know. I haven't gotten to that point yet.
So someone's asking about knight f8.
Knight f8 loses on the spot, folks. I'll let you work it out.
Maybe
Queen f6.
I think
f6 looks strong.
but maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong. Knight f8, queen f6, knight e6.
Rook takes e6.
Then f takes e6.
Ah.
And the queen guards queen guards laterally.
Yeah.
So we have to look at that.
Yeah. There you
Hmm.
go. The Twitch chat has thought more deeply about it than we have.
Yeah.
Can we somehow do something else? Knight f8, queen f6, knight e6. Let's look at that position again.
Well, too late. He played bishop f.
Yeah, I don't
Bishop
think it
f8.
would work because white could play rook e4 in that position.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
And
That's because the knight on e6 kind of blocks the rook, you know, from defending against rook e4. So
now this is an interesting moment. Is Gadir just going to repeat moves here? Because Kyron's kind of offering a draw here. Bishop f4, bishop d6, bishop h6, bishop f8, h8. You know, maybe Gadir saw this far and said, I have a draw if I want it. And because on bishop f4, I don't think Kyron can play anything other than bishop d6. Queen c8 looks wrong to me. Although I guess it's possible. I don't think it looks right though.
well, there you go.
Okay, there we go. So Kyron's probably going to play bishop d6, and maybe though, you have to be careful here. It does change things a little bit. Bishop d6. Does white gain anything by playing queen g4 and then bishop h6? I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of little subtleties here. And move orders, you know, different little move orders and stuff. Making it complicated. And good for Kyron that he's got plenty of time to figure it out. I mean, these kind of calculations can be difficult, but they're also, I think, can be straightforward as long as you don't get lost here. I have a feeling that Gadir has got the draw in hand, and might decide to play for a win, or might have a win if there's if Kyron missteps.
You know, this is a good question in the chat about a rook lift, because I was just thinking about it after I saw the chat. If we try a rook lift like rook e3 and it's captured, that opens up our f file, and then we can try rook f3 as our next lift.
Right. Yeah, sure.
So maybe that rook lift idea would be possible.
Well,
but
let's see.
You know,
yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it is a possibility. It's one of the little things that white's working with in this position.
Yeah, because you know, my first thought was, oh, rook e3, rook takes e3, and then no more rook lift. But after f takes e3, then rook f3 and rook g3 can be the plan.
Well, rook e3 isn't going to work right now because it's black's move.
Well, yeah, because it's black's
Yeah.
move. But I mean, just as ideas down the road.
No, that's a good idea. Alexei, did you ever play Diane Savaride? You must have played Diane
Yes.
a
Yes.
bunch of times.
Yes.
I
That's
played her once. Was ended in a draw. I played you. It ended in a draw. I'm trying to think of other top women players of those days that I played. Pam Ford, I played a few times. I think I did well against her. Um, and maybe there were some others. Did
You
you
know, you were
ever?
talking. Yeah, I wanted to mention something because this kind of relates to what Abel was saying. I played my first U.S. Women's Championship in 1981, and I was one of the two youngest players there. The other was Baraka Shabazz. But anyway, I Diane Separide won that year, and I had lost my game to her, but she picked it at her as her best game of the tournament and published it in Chess Life.
Oh
So
wow.
even if I lost that game, I felt so honored that she considered it her best win. I mean, best win, one word, the opponent didn't blunder. And, so there's an example of losing, but feeling
Good
good.
about the loss.
So that was something. But yeah, the trivia there was that in 1981, I turned 16 that summer, and Baraka Shabazz was actually also turning 16 around then. So we were the two youngest players. But nowadays, there's people even younger than that in the U.S. women's, I
You
think.
know, for those of us in the Bay Area who knew Baraka Shabazz were and knew the situation, the family situation, we're pretty sure that she was not going to stay with chess.
Right.
It
Yes.
was a clear case of sort of, what do they call it? Uh, parents that are
Traveling a lot.
baseball. What do they call that?
Like living through their child or.
Yeah, kind of
Oh,
thing.
vicariously living through
Yeah, yeah. I mean, she might have had some talent, but she was being,
the
I
pressure.
think, used in some way, and we never heard from her again after I think she became an adult or yeah, old enough to resist the chess world.
Sort of like
Uh,
helicopter parent, although it's probably a little
Helicopter
different.
parent, yeah, yeah. Or there's a name for it in in baseball, little league baseball. I think
Well, it's more in football actually. The Pee
the
Wee
parents
League.
are fighting in the stands and
Yeah,
all.
yeah. It's a. You ever seen that show Friday Night Tykes?
No,
I mean
no, sounds horrible.
these parents act like they're, coach of the 49ers and Raiders for their 6-year-old son's
It sounds horrible.
Pee
Yeah,
Wee League.
there's a question in the chat about where she ended up, and I think the answer is not well.
Is that right? I don't know what happened with her ultimately. I know she disappeared from the chess world, and that's all I know.
Uh,
Um,
Back to board one here with Gadir
okay,
and
so
Kyron.
Bishop H6 has been played, and I guess maybe Karen's thinking about that knight F8 move. What else could he be thinking of?
Right. If not Bishop F8.
And I'm trying to think of other. You, I
yeah, you were telling. So I kind of interrupted you. Sorry, Paul. You were talking about top women that you played against.
Yeah, no, and I'm trying to. There were probably a few other American women that I played. Did you know Elizabeth Traina?
I did actually.
You did?
I don't know. I don't think I knew Elizabeth Traina.
So she was a woman that played in a lot
mentioned.
of chess tournaments around the Bay Area.
Okay.
But there were very few, very, very, very few. There was, I can't, there was a big active chess scene in the Fisher after the Fisher boom, but only a handful of women playing. Much
Right.
different than nowadays.
Yeah, that's true.
Much worse, I would say.
There are a lot more girls that play now, but there's also a very high dropout rate. There's actually
Yeah.
not many adult women. Like, for example, in my age category, women 50 and over, there's not even enough women to make up a top 100 list. We don't even have
100, yeah.
100 women across the country playing.
That's very unfortunate.
Although we're fortunate here in the Bay Area to have one of the top two or three in Natalia Sodakova.
Yes. Oh no, I know. And before COVID, I was really pushing for a U.S. women's senior championship because they started the U.S. senior, which is 50 and over, and they've held it for 2 years now. But there's no women in it, and so I thought, hey, let's have a parallel tournament. But with COVID, everything kind of just
I got on pause.
Yeah.
I know Judith was working to see if can help get that together. But yeah, everything got.
I mean, I think it's a neat idea because, frankly, for the U.S. senior 50 and over, unless they decide to let Susan Polgar play, but even I don't know that she would qualify for it, because it's actually quite strong, the U.S. senior, in terms of rating. So
The Open or the closed?
the U.S. Senior Championship, which is a closed tournament.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I don't think even our own Nick DeFermian was not able to wouldn't be able to qualify for it.
Right. But I was saying, I know Susan Polgar doesn't have a valid membership, but even if she did, I don't think she would be strong enough to get into it. And so what I'm saying is that tournament's going to be all men for years. So if we want to see senior women in the spotlight, if we do, I mean, that's the question.
I mean,
if we see senior women in the spotlight, it's not going to be in that tournament.
I mean,
you need a parallel tournament.
Well, that was my proposal because there's a U.S. Junior Girls and there's a U.S. Junior.
Right.
There's a U.S. Women's Championship and there's a U.S. Championship. And now there's a U.S. Senior Championship, but there's no U.S. Senior Women's. So it's just whether you want to have that parallel tournament or not.
I think you should.
I mean, even for us in the U.S. Cadet, I mean, we had a girl play, but it was only by virtue of granting her the wild card, which was Rui Yang Yan.
Thank you, Judith.
That she was able to do it.
Judith says she would support it. I think it would just be a neat idea because older women are pretty invisible. Like, luckily you have Natalia, but generally you really are not.
But that's one, right? Yeah.
Older women in chess in any way, and so the idea of it.
Yeah, and someone that strong. I mean, Natasha Christensen also plays, but she's like 2000 level.
I think
players.
I think the idea is we're just showcasing the top players
right.
And it doesn't matter what their ratings are, and but
Paul, some of them are pretty reasonable. Like Angelina Belikovskaya is now 50 and over, and she's been over 2,300.
Right.
I think it would be a tournament that ranged from about 2,000 to 2,300 if all the top ones accepted. So it's strong enough to be interesting, just like the games that we're looking at tonight. I mean, there would be enough to comment on.
Yeah, I mean, we segregate players by age, and we can segregate players by gender. There's no limitation to it that I see.
And speaking of women,
why have a cadet championship if you got a U.S. championship where all the players are much better and can crush them all?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the idea of spotlighting it. And thank you very much. Yes, I consider myself a mechanics member from a distance. So yes. Natalia Sadikova and I can represent the mechanics if this thing ever happens.
Absolutely.
Women's happens.
And maybe here we have the future of women's chess in Chelsea Zhu. She's playing black.
Yes, let's take a look at the game.
Against Arun Dixit.
Well, black is under pressure here, I suppose, but it's complicated. And that's my world-class commentary for this.
It's complicated. It's a game.
It's complicated. Nothing to see here. Let's move on.
Well, let's check out.
We're gonna move on. Okay.
Let's check.
Figure it out.
Elliot and Mike Walder.
And
Oh
this is,
yes, the roommates. Let's check that out.
yeah, I guess Elliot's happy. Mike Walder doesn't have a crazy wild position, and White's kind of got some pressure here. So black is a little in a little bit of cramped up here.
Let's move back to board one and check this out here.
So Lex Twitch 2 keeps saying nice things in the chat, but I don't think I know Lex Twitch 2's real name.
Yeah, I don't think any of us do.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought it was just me.
I'm pretty sure it's Lex Huberts, who's played at Mechanics.
Oh yeah.
Well, thank you, Lex Twitch 2, or what did you say his name was? Lex Hubert?
Huberts, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so Chiron is well, rather bishop f4 and step back a move or two on Chiron's
Okay, let's see
game.
how this happens.
Two moves.
Yeah.
Here we go. So
Okay.
went bishop there, then there.
Okay. Oh, and he changed it to Queen D8, I guess. Is what
Yeah,
he-
Chiron is
Chiron's
seeing if
not
he can play
content.
for a win.
Yeah.
And then here
Oh.
we are.
But
Introducing
now
him.
comes bishop g5 and queen c8. Chiron is kind of messing around here. I don't like it.
So Alexander Huberts, by the way, under 1800 is not weak. The average reader of Chess Life is at 1200. That's what the editor always tells me whenever I write for Chess Life. Is remember that you're writing for the average reader 1200. So 1800 is really good.
So 1800 will put you in the top probably 5% of players in the
Yeah,
country.
1800 is
say.
good.
1800
And then
is definitely
Someone
above.
else is asking about the lower section, but I don't know if we're showing that at all.
Well, here they are. They ask, and you shall receive.
Oh, wow. Such good service here at the Mechanics.
That's right. All you got to do is ask, and here it is.
And Sebi is in my Art of Attack
Art
class.
of Attack. That's right. Sebi Suarez, who is black
Okay.
here. The Sebi Meister against Philip.
So this is
Gerstoft.
one of those positions I find very difficult to understand. Yeah. These
Just cause, or
well, it's I mean I might get this formation if I'm white, but I wouldn't get it if I was black. So it's so that makes it difficult to kind of pinpoint exactly. It looks like it's in balance, I would say.
so. They're asking, how was the Art of Attack class yesterday?
I was flabbergasted by how many people showed up, and
13.
humbled by it, and but I got a good perspective on the strength of the players, and for the next bunch of lessons I'm going to sort of tailor it to the crowd that's in the class. I want to call them a crowd.
And Judith's saying we got 2 more that registered.
Wow. Well, I hope that I'm like I said, I'm humbled, and I hope that that the class continues to be. I had a lot of engagement, and I thought it was a very good class.
Yeah, and it's fun to see some of the the stronger kids also taking it along with the adults.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that this is actually a good idea for a series of classes, that you take a book and you sort of do the Reader's Digest version.
Reader's Digest.
Because the Art of Attack is a 350-page book, and I'm only able to show so much and go over so much in 6 classes. But it's one of those classic books. It just keeps on giving, So
and
let's find out why.
They've agreed to a draw on board 1.
Oh, okay.
A good result for Chiron.
Yeah.
And he showed faith in his system and stuck to his guns, and
And
Gadir,
Gust-
and a great result for black,
and
being black.
Gadir's in the game chat saying he completely missed bishop f8, and Kyron saying he couldn't figure out how to keep third pawn.
Interesting.
So
Yeah.
I
The
guess
games chat. Okay.
I
So we
get,
don't get to see it, but you do, Abel, huh?
that's right.
Yeah, nice result for Kyron. And Gadir is not finding it easy at the mechanics. It's funny, these grandmasters, remember last time he played, Elliot finished ahead of him. So, anything is possible in the Tuesday night marathon.
And actually, Lex asked in the chat about the engine, and I just looked at it. It says 0.87 for black.
Oh, okay.
Well,
0.87.
that's next to nothing, right?
Yeah, I mean it just is what it is. Oops.
Right.
Whoa.
I find the engine evaluations almost ridiculous. Yeah, I don't understand them, and I choose to ignore them. And
All right, let's check board 2 here with Elliot and Walder.
well, GMs win with minus 8.7 as well. So
What's happened here is somehow Black put a piece, beyond the fourth rank there, like, on the other side of the board. There's a knight on e4 now.
yeah, Black's played 94 and is going to relieve the cramp with some exchanges. Another interesting thought was to transfer the bishop to d3 and that other diagonal.
And Lex is not buying your disdain for the chess engines. Come on, Paul.
No, but grandmasters. I mean, grandmasters. Well, it's true. If they're playing a computer, they're going to get their asses whooped. But if grandmasters are playing weaker players and they're down by 1.0 or something, they still have a good chance to win the game. And they're grandmasters. 0.87, isn't that that's under one pawn, right?
Right. That is under one pawn.
Yeah, so that's considered statistically almost nothing, as far as I know. Yeah. I like that. Hey, come on. That's the best comment so far.
It's like, come on, Paul.
Yeah.
get
My
with
arm
it.
is behind my back. I'm feeling the pain there.
Let's take a look at National Master Arun Dixit and Chelsea Zhu. I think they're board 4.
Oh, this is still an interesting game.
Board 3. This is board 3.
Although it looks like Black went ahead and lost another pawn somehow. Yikes. That's not good.
I've been a supporter, Paul. What do you know?
I'm here for the mechanics chess community as much as I can be.
Yeah, and I was going to say I was lucky enough to take your class on the World Chess Championship matches, and you're a really good teacher. I would encourage anyone out there in Twitch land to sign up for your class.
Well, thank you.
Well, here it is. Boom.
Thank you.
The art of attack, right there. It's in the Twitch chat.
And it's there are 5 more classes in the class, and I'm picking stuff out of this famous book to look at. And the first class was on mating patterns. Basically, it was chapter 4 in the class, and we sort of went over everything in there. And I was surprised, actually, a little bit at what people didn't know. Some of the stuff I thought would have been a little easier for them to get. So I was chastising my students a little bit for like, hey, you're supposed to know this, and
Like, what's one example of that you noticed?
just some of the mating patterns, some of the mating, like stuff, bishop and and queen sort of mechanisms to mate in 2 or 3 moves.
Yeah.
The standard patterns and stuff. And so we all need refreshers in this kind of stuff. And but what was really interesting too is that during the class, some of the players found a mistake in Vukovic's analysis.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
So, and which was really great for all of us, because it showed that question authority, and that that's how to get, one way to get better at chess, of course, is to question authority and not just play by rote. So it was really a good class in that way too.
That is exciting. All right.
Yeah.
So switch to a different game here. And it looks like materials equal, but maybe white has a little bit of a space here.
Yeah, and a weak pawn at e5, and so, but still, this looks like it shouldn't be too much.
And the funny thing is, Ashik Uzman's king. This was the one that was on e3 on move 9.
Oh, and it made it back to g1.
It made it back to g1.
Right.
That's funny.
I love that.
Looks like black's a little better here with the pressure on the e5 pawn.
So Lex is saying question authority and then check with the engine to make sure.
I guess the engine's his authority.
Perfect.
That's like trust but verify.
Right. I'm not saying that I don't do that, but I would never admit it.
All right, let's.
Einstein, because he's been kind of harassing me here.
Where's Einstein at?
Too.
There we go. It's like eating your foot. It looks like. Yeah.
But
do you feel that?
That he has a new fan. Little Pink Corvette got a hold of me.
Oh yeah. Lisa Willis.
Yes. So Lisa contacted me and said, I saw your rabbit on the Twitch. So Einstein is building his fan club, so I guess he wants to make sure I show him off here.
Einstein can probably
he's moving around because he's
stream chess.
Keeps harassing my shoe. So if it looks like I'm moving around a lot, I am.
That's hilarious. Well, we're the only chess stream with a rabbit, so
Yeah, exactly. But I'm telling you, he's building his fan base. Last week, Lewis Reed donated 100.
That's right.
Points, and then Lisa Willis got a hold of me.
Tomorrow, the world.
Right.
Yeah.
Next, it'll be the president. It's like working.
So let's see board 1. Let's see board 1 again.
You want to see board 1? Okay. There it is.
I thought that was the game that. Oh, didn't board 1 end with the draw?
It did, but Paul wanted to
see.
Paul wanted to see it.
That's right.
So I'm just showing. I'm showing it again.
Okay. I thought Paul forgot.
Okay, I remember this. Yeah.
Okay.
How about Elliot's game, board 2?
And Mike Walder offered a draw here in this position.
Mike Walder's like, yeah, let's eat dinner.
Exactly. I was going to say that. They're ready to make the. Hey, I saw your article came out. Was that right with Ding Loren? And
that's right. Yeah, thanks for seeing it. I need to send you an email so that you can the newsletter.
We'll put it in the newsletter this Saturday.
Yeah, thank you.
Now
follow the white rabbit.
Did they make that article based on the request, or did you just happen to find that he was interested?
When I was a kid, I loved Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, which has chess all over it.
And a white rabbit.
Yeah, and a white rabbit. So the white rabbits and chess go together. Like
Yeah, they do. But what were you asking about the Ding Loren thing? I kind of got distracted.
I remember that you had put a call out of if anyone knew anything about some of the candidates in terms of the food, and I was wondering if someone reached out to you, or how did that article come about?
No one reached out to us, but I did some research, and Ding Loren kept saying he liked simple rice and noodles, so that's what we went with. But hey, if anyone out there knows what Wang Hao likes to eat or knows what Kirill Alexey likes to eat, we need help with those. So
What about Fabiano Caruana? Do I hear pasta?
we already did him. Yeah, we already did Caruana, an Italian food.
Right.
Yeah.
Through the Looking Glass is a wonderful book. It's both through Alice in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. And speaking of girls and chess and all that stuff, that may be, one of the earlier.
That's a good idea because she does get to play against the Red Queen, right?
Yeah. And extraordinary book. And somehow Nicholas Wang is winning again.
Oh.
How does he do it?
He's a magician.
Magician. I think Nicholas Wang is a player that we're going to see a lot of. I just have this feeling.
Yeah, he's so young.
He's he?
Young, and
Gosh,
I think he's going to be one of those players that comes up through the ranks of mechanics and becomes a master.
I hate to speculate, but he looked like he was like 10 or something, right?
Oh, wow.
Like 11.
Yeah. No, I think he's a serious talent.
Well, here's
and he came very. I mean, he had Conor Griffith beaten last week.
He beat.
That's right. I remember that.
He beat Natalia at a Tuesday marathon.
That's right.
And he beat Mike Walder. I had thought he had
Mike Walder, yeah.
Winslow, but I was wrong. He had beat Mike Walder.
This is interesting. Look at how Black plays the wrong pawn move here. B5 was a better idea usually in that position, but I'm not sure this is White should have taken with the D pawn and then played B5, and then it could have had the C6 square and a potential pass pawn on the queen side. So there's been White made a mistake taking with the other. I'm
a little scared for White also being so far down on time compared to Black.
Yeah.
But White definitely took with the wrong pawn there.
Let's look at this game with. I believe it's Ethan Guo and Felix German.
Now, Fiery Griffin, who is Fiery Griffin?
That's Tejas Mahesh.
Ah, that's right. Uh-oh, Black is in trouble here, I think.
Yeah, that's Ethan Guo. Black is in trouble? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there might be a passed F pawn?
That pawn is going to cost Black his bishop.
Yeah.
Now or
Later. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's Lightning Dragon again?
Ethan Guo.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
1664. Yeah.
Right.
And Winslow and Walder drew their game.
Okay, what's for dinner, guys?
So they should be in the chat soon, letting us know what's on the menu.
Yeah, that'd be good.
All right, let's check.
If I'm coming over for dinner, we're gonna have cornball.
Cornballs?
Cornball.
What is that?
Just I'm corny. I'm a cornball kind of a guy.
You're being a cornball.
Yeah. So look at this. Ashik has lost a pawn.
Yeah.
And the question is though, Rook D8, Rook D7, Rook E7, Rook D8 check, Rook E8, Rook D7.
Ah, okay.
So maybe White can.
Oh, you predicted it. There you go.
I don't know how Black's going to keep an advantage here.
And yes, it was Elliot that was complaining about not getting White in the last tournament. And he did get White.
And he got a White and he only made a draw. Look at that.
Yeah, look at that. Well, Tarzan had a draw with Walter. This has been a very successful couple of rounds for Mike in a sense. I mean, being outranked by Tarzan and Mike Walter.
Is there anything here for?
Well, sure. I mean, where there's life, there's hope. It's a little difficult. I mean, Black is still harassing White, but I think White should be able to consolidate this. and win.
Because if black delivers a check on e1, this is twice this has happened.
Maybe king f3. Queen h1, I guess king g4. That doesn't look like it's going to lead to too much trouble for white.
No threats there. Or serious threats.
Yeah, I mean, then you can even come back around and take the pawn on h3. Black can come up with rook c6, but then f5. I just don't think there's anything.
So white's doing fine here.
Yeah, I think white's winning.
Yeah.
Back to this game with National Master Arun Dixit and Chelsea Zhu.
Oh wow, look at that rook on the 7th. I mean, that's when I look at the position, that's like jumps out at me. I don't know. There's probably other relevant things going on, but rook's
Well, if
pretty-
I'm black, I'd play knight g4 and then just go take a stroll to the water cooler and
Oh yeah, do a smothered mate. That's a good idea. Play knight g4 and try to smothered mate, huh?
sure. Who knows? Maybe they haven't read The Art of Attack and they don't know it.
Oh,
great.
look, Mike came to say hi. We want to know, Mike, what's for dinner?
Oh, we know what Elliot's having. Stale bread, sour grapes, and
Sour grapes, stale bread.
sour grapes and stale bread.
That's funny. On a white roll or something.
And warm water. Yeah. Tepid water. Yeah, I like knight g4 for black here. Just
Just to
Try
try
it.
it, right? Yeah.
Just try it. Whatever.
I would be excited if that happened, actually.
Let's go back to this game we were following earlier. Look at this. The top board in the under 1800.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Those pawns are pretty cool looking. The doubled C pawns.
Yeah, yeah.
This looks bad for black. Black must be in some serious
Yeah.
trouble here.
Yeah, I mean, like, aren't you threatening, like, queen d7 check or something?
And then followed up with pawn to c6. Got to
Well-
worry if black can get back with the knight and eat one of those pawns, but it doesn't look likely. Yeah.
It's black's
This is
move.
not looking good for black.
And Mike says it's either salmon or tuna. I wonder if that means we get to vote. I vote salmon.
Yeah, I think that would be the way to go.
Well, black is still harassing white here,
Yeah.
so it's not easy. These games can be frustrating. You know you're winning and you can't find a way, and you know your opponent keeps squirming around. Wow,
Look at that.
what happened here? Oh, black went into all passive mode somehow.
Black said he really wanted to hang on to the pawn, I guess.
Right, and played rook ba, and so white's gotten this huge domination thing going.
Domination.
This is not black can't be doing good here.
It's a little too passive, huh?
Yeah. I mean, white's gonna win on the queen side one way or another, I think. Yeah.
Let's go back to this one here. Arun and Chelsea.
Oh, the rook's not on the 7th anymore. Okay.
It was white's move, and white did have a strong move with knight g5, I think, but
Isn't
Knight g4, yeah.
winning
So
a-
black didn't play knight g4. What did black do?
no, it was white's move, Alexei.
Oh, it was white's
we were
yeah.
we were starting to get.
Okay.
Black has to play queen d8, right?
Right.
It looks
Same
like it. Yeah.
tonight.
And then rook d6. I think black's position's
Yeah.
starting to fall
Black's
apart.
getting in trouble.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Is there any
Fantastic.
hope with queen b2? No, I don't think so.
And
This looks like a strong move. This rook Who's the limelight again?
That is Arun Dixit, national master.
Oh,
His
that's a nice looking checkmate.
that is nice.
Oh, yuck.
That is
Yeah.
Sebi Suarez got mated there, but it was a good game. Arun Dixit, limelight, is his family. He's a Scholastic player. I think he's in high school,
Right. Yeah,
or
he's a strong player.
and his family lives in Sacramento, and
Yuck.
they played a couple of TNMs where they drove out to mechanics to play it.
From where?
Sacramento.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's dedication.
That is dedication for sure.
Right. This is not looking good. I mean, white takes a whole knight and threatens mate on the same move.
Abel, someone wants to clip your yuck clip, make you famous for yuck.
Was that Abel's yuck or my yuck or
No,
your
that's
one of
yuck?
your
Paul's.
yucks.
That's Paul's.
Oh, it's Paul's yuck. Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Make Paul famous.
Yuck is one of
Yuck.
my technical chess commentary terms.
Yeah, you have a whole slew of them, actually. Yikes.
Yikes, yuck.
Yeah.
That's
There's
funny.
probably a few more.
Terrible.
These are highly technical chess terms. You have to play chess for many years to.
So now look what Ashik has done now.
Wait a minute. Which game? This isn't the game with the passive defense, is it?
That is it right now.
It is,
Really?
and
It's
somehow
moved forward this much.
Christian
It got
Christian is fighting an interesting fight here. I mean, he's trying to get to hold the queen side and play king g4, and so these players they don't know the meaning of the word draw.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It maybe try to hang on to that pawn too much because now it's an opportunity is being created for white.
Well, okay, so I mean, this is a little exercise. Let's try rook c6, rook king c6, king g4, or something here. Is Christian lost? I mean, let's say he plays the old passive rook a8 even. I know it looks ridiculous.
But if he can just trade one of the pawns there and keep the rook, because of where... No, that wouldn't work. And he's not trading. He's got
Well, white's much more advanced with the pawns here.
That's true.
And I think you're right. Trade would have lost. So I mean, rook c6, king c6, king g. You have to take twice. I don't think. No, white's going to queen the c pawn way before black can do anything. But maybe going into full passive mode, like with rook a8. Because what happens here? White plays rook c7, and then, I mean, it's going to be some kind of race. Rook and pawn endings are always too difficult to call.
Now here I think maybe rook c7 to try to win the a pawn. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the idea before.
And Christian with only a minute 11 on his clock.
That's scary. Yeah.
I like rook c7. I mean, it's the obvious move.
Checking in on this game really quick. Black's harassing white enough to keep hope alive.
Yeah, and has won a couple of pawns on the queen side.
Right.
White
Yeah,
missed an
it's
interesting.
amazing how much these positions change in between the times we look at them. You know,
Yeah.
like, is this really the same?
I know. I'm like closing my eyes, half the time. Yeah. Yeah, black is doing a good job of making white, think and work for the win. I mean, that's kind of what you're supposed to do.
I mean, weren't White's pieces a lot more advanced a while ago when we last looked at it?
Well, white has some huge advantages here. I mean, he's got the passed pawn on e5 now.
Yeah, he could play knight d4 here, right?
Yeah, he could play knight d4 here. 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 Yeah, he could play knight d4 threatening queen takes f5, maybe. Yeah.
Well, don't we have to block the check with knight d4 first?
Well, you could play king f3, but knight d4 might be a good move. I
Knight
think
d4.
black. What?
I kind of like knight d4 because it's
Solid.
yeah, it looks solid, and then you can play queen takes f5 next.
Right, but black's going to probably play
Played
g6.
it.
Boom.
I always feel
Yeah.
like $1 million when they play my move.
Feels good, right?
I think that they're, when I suggest a move and they play it, I think you guys are
You just lost the game.
barking up the wrong tree.
Doing a check-in on Ashik and Christian.
Oh wow! Here's another game that's just transformed itself, but White's still doing really well.
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I agree with Fiery Griffin. This looks lost for Black. I agree. White should be able to win this.
And White has time on the clock to...
I mean,
Rook and
White
pawn
could play
is
Rook
so
H7,
tough to play.
H5. Rook H7, H5.
Table base win. Actually, this wouldn't be a table base, right? There's one piece too many. Do they have eight piece table bases now, right? Is that right?
Oh, yay! Rook H7. I called it. Woohoo!
You're on fire
I
tonight.
am. This has really helped making my ego grow.
It's good. Nothing wrong
I
with
think there's seven piece table base as well. But it requires more computing power, and I'm not sure that it's available to everybody.
And now I think Rook F7 maybe. Rook F7.
I like that move. I
H5.
like that move.
Rook F7 or H5. I'm kind of torn.
I see that White has 2 passed pawns, Black only has 1. White's rook is active, Black's is passive. White's up a pawn. I think White probably is winning.
And Mike
I
Waller
don't know
saying
about
check
check first.
Yeah.
But if
Oh, I
you
like
check
that, Mike.
fir-
Yeah, checking first.
Yeah, that's
more
possible.
awkward position.
Although Black, it does give Black rook c8 check, touching.
Yeah,
this
Rook E7 check first, I think is good.
It says it gets you tempo.
Makes that Black King more awkward. I'm going to agree with Mike.
Well, it also puts the Black King in touch of the c pawn, so I'm not sure. Boy,
Oh,
these
you're thinking
rook
king
endings are
E3?
so tough.
Oh, well, Mike wins. He played Rook F E7.
And Black goes to take, yeah. So I mean, White's just close to winning here, but his king is awkwardly placed in front of his passed pawn. Oh, brother.
Maybe he could solve that with like King D6 here, maybe.
Or king c6, rook
Just
c8,
it.
king b7, rook c4, king a7.
Lots of good moves for White. Although White's kind of starting to let his time tick
Yeah,
away.
he's catching up on time here.
Yeah.
It used to be a big time advantage, and now he's under 3 minutes.
So who's the higher rated player in this game?
They're pretty evenly matched,
Okay.
these two.
Yeah, they're pretty even.
Um,
Technically, it's Christian Clemens because he's 1997 and Ashik is 1943.
Ashik is
They're
one
really
of those.
close.
Ashik is one of those players that doesn't have to work very hard at his chess. He's just naturally talented and, has probably. I think White's winning now because the Black pawn can't advance. White can probably even play if White can just get one of those pawns down to the 7th rank. Even rook a7 probably is a win here. This is, it's always touch and go, these things, though.
And the other game we're following is Nicholas Wang and Nitish Nathan.
Wow.
Nitish putting up a fight still.
Definitely putting up a fight. What's White doing with this G4? He's like, okay, so he's saying, I've got you completely under control. I'm going to play G5, G6, and then Queen H7 check.
Oh, that would be cool.
And it could be as simple as, oh, now that's a nice move, Knight F3. Covering every square and preparing Rook D8 check. Yeah, nice move.
Go Rook, yeah.
Knight E2 is good too, but this might even be stronger. Knight E2 is attack the rook, but black seems to be lost here now. White's finally sort of getting a control here.
Back to this.
Yeah, black didn't have any checks left almost. That was one problem. Oh, look at this game. Wow.
Well, now comes Rook E1.
Yeah, Rook E1, King D7. Things are going well, I think.
Rook E1. Yeah, black has to probably take time out to take the. My brain is fried here.
I don't understand the.
That's right. The white king can hide. White shouldn't play Rook F1. That does make no sense whatsoever. And the white king can hide at B7. Actually, this is not as easy as it looks. And white blew a whole tempo by playing Rook F1. It did not
And Clemens
So
took 10 seconds.
There's a comment in the chat that I don't understand about calling when to move to a different game. I think Abel's the one that controls that all the time, right?
Yeah, only I can control it because the Twitch stream is running through my computer.
Right.
Before the pandemic.
And the thing. Yeah.
Oh, let me say, before the pandemic, I had total control.
That's right. That's right.
Now Abel chooses, but Abel does an incredible job.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait. No, thank you.
Well, is this the game with the rooks? What? This
is it. This is.
Sheik wins.
Yeah.
Okay.
He converted it. And Judith, I think we only have one. All games are done. She's saying all games are finished.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
As usual, it went by super fast. Thanks for inviting me.
No, thanks for joining.
Thanks for joining, Alexey.
And I'm putting it in the chat. Follow that link within minutes. Judith will update the standings, and you'll see everything there. Yeah, entertaining.
Very interesting
evening of chess.
Yeah.
So for those still watching, don't forget we have our Thursday night marathon this Thursday. It'll be round 2. It's game in 60 plus 5. It's one game per evening, and it runs from November and December since we're doing one game. Let me put up information. It's not too late to join. We just had round 1 last week. If you want to join in on Thursday, you can get a buy. And there it is right there.
I have a few students playing in this tournament, and I'm thrilled. One of them won a game today, his first game today, and he was so excited. He sent me the video.
That's neat.
Chess is a very difficult game to play, a very hard game, and I know what it feels like to win and to lose, and to lose and to lose and to lose, and then to finally win is a great feeling. So congratulations to him.
And I think Lex is saying Alexey and I should call when to switch games, not you, Paul.
Oh, that's fine, but I don't even know what games are going on.
That's right. And I think that's what people don't understand is that because all the games are manually paired, I pull up all the games, but like I see it and no one else sees it, right? And that's kind of one of the oddities, and that's why I put the link in there, because then people can actually see.
And the only thing that I do is I make suggestions like, hey, let's take a look at that game, over there on board one. And that's when I can remember, who was playing on board one.
And a question, I think it's
Oh, Lex,
Rama.
thank you very much.
Yeah, we know you're a fan of mechanics, and all of us here. We're not streaming yet the Thursday marathon, just because it's a lot of work
Logistics.
doing all the streaming we do during the week, along with the
Logistics.
And there was also the other part that with that long a time control, it might lend itself.
Fall asleep.
Well, Paul would fall asleep, but it also lends itself to fair play stuff. So,
Right.
all right, Paul, Alexey, thank you for joining the broadcast, and special shout out as always to Judith, who's pairing everything manually, updating the standings. As we look at the standings, I think there is a tie for first place. Let me go and look at that real quick before we head out.
There's an interesting stream, and Drydas, I played your son today, I think, in a Blitz game.
The arena, yeah.
In the arena.
And
or maybe that was maybe he played a game in the.
Adichie.
Was he playing in the tournament tonight?
I
think he was maybe.
Adichie. Yep, they both played. Yeah, Aditya played. Won one and lost one.
And how about you, Drydas? How are you doing in these tournaments?
What about Rama? Is Rama playing? He may not be playing, actually.
He's not playing, yeah.
So, all right.
Playing in the Thursday tournament.
Oh, there you go. He plays the Thursday.
Cool.
Gadir and Kyron on first place with 3.5. And then we have a few players at 3, including Jim Tarjan, Arun Dixit, Mike Walder, Nicholas Wang, and Ashik Uzman and Ethan Goal. Elliot at 2.5, as is Javier Silva.
And we have how many more Tuesdays?
Next week, that's it. 2 games.
Next week, and that's it.
6 rounds because of yeah.
Are we taking a break and then starting over again, or are we going to start right in on another one?
Well, that's a very good question, because one of the things we were thinking of doing is on that week off break, which would be December 1st. We may do a membership drive that day to drive up memberships. So we've been doing a phenomenal job at engaging the chess community to see the value and benefits of mechanics membership, and we might do a Giving Tuesday drive to support mechanics. So there's logistics we decided we still have to figure out, but that's an idea we have. So
this book came from the stacks of the Mechanics Institute Chess Club, and it's a pretty good book.
Yeah, 3 Tuesdays. So it looks like we're 6 rounds.
Abel, after we raid somebody else, let me stay on and let me talk to you for 1 second.
Absolutely. So thank you everyone for following. I'm trying to see who we can raid here. Who is good to raid? Let me see.
Rocket League.
Rocket League.
Just kidding.
And it has to be someone that's playing chess.
Thank you, Kyron, for the exciting games.
Yeah, thanks, Karen. You're congratulations. I like the way you played for a win against Gadir there.
And we are going to raid Chess Dojo. So give some support to Kostya Kavutsky and David Pruis and the Chess Dojo folks. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thanks, Paul, Alexey. Thanks, Judith. We will be back next week with the final rounds. And see everyone then.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.